Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Let me go ahead and get something out the way because I know, I want to address the elephant in the room. I know you're thinking, I can see it on your face. And no, I am not the black guy from This Is Us. I know. I see you're disappointed, sir. I heard somebody go, is that Randall? I think that's I'm not Randall. What this is if the black guy from This Is Us had a baby with the black kid from Stranger Things, that's what this is. That's what this is. I'm excited to be here. I really am excited because I get to travel and do comedy all the time. I don't like the process, though. I don't like the process. I love the destination. I've never been to Utah. This is my first time, so I'm excited to be here. Thank you. Yeah, because like I said, I'm from Atlanta, and of course, like with the whole traveling thing, it's difficult because Atlanta traffic is horrible. You sit through Atlanta traffic and you start to sympathize with Moses traveling for 40 years in the desert with the Israelites. Yeah. And I'm trying to do better. Like, I'm trying not to complain this year. I'm trying to be productive with my time. So when I sit in traffic, I try to do things that are productive. Like I got some work done. I did some online reading. I did a crossword puzzle, Sudoku, filed my taxes, did some yoga, got that done. What else did I do? I actually was able to do some meal prepping for the week. I got that out the way. But my proudest accomplishment while I was sitting in traffic was I got to graduate from a 4-year online degree at Ashworth. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I studied at Ashworth University, studied toxicology. I'm glad you asked. So if you'd like to know if you have the coronavirus, see me after the show. Yeah, I'm excited to be here, Like I said, the process is always frustrating for me because you get to the airport and of course everybody talks about their favorite airlines. Everybody loves Delta. I love Delta, but I actually love Spirit Airlines. Yeah, they said, what? I do, I love Spirit Airlines. People give Spirit Airlines a hard time. I love that people complain. They're like, oh, there's never enough space on Spirit Airlines, never enough leg room. They don't give you free snacks. I'm like, I grew up with 7 brothers and sisters. That was my whole childhood. I'm used to Spirit Airlines. I'm used to that. Only thing I don't like about Spirit Airlines is when they make you get out the plane, to help push to start it off. I hate that. I feel like that's not my job. That should be the pilot. Yeah, I just hate the process of traveling. With Spirit Airlines, like, I don't know if they have a slogan, but I feel like it should be Spirit Airlines. Let's just see what happens. Some of you've never been. Some of you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I just hate the process of traveling. And then when you land, you got to acclimate to the weather. This has been really nice because in Atlanta we have hot weather. The best description of Atlanta is like a plate of chicken wings. Like one day it'll be smoky and mild, spicy and hot, with a chance of lemon pepper. I came here, see all the mountains, it's amazing, it's majestic, see the snow-capped mountains. I remember the first time I saw snow was in Denver, Colorado, and I called the police immediately. Told them I would like to report some suspicious activity. Like, what seems to be the problem? I was like, there's some white powdery substance outside my hotel. Took him about a minute before he's like, that's called snow, sir. That's called snow. Yeah, I just hate the process of traveling. And then, of course, you got to get the rental. They always try to get me to upgrade. Like, I have a Honda Civic. Anybody have a Honda Civic? Okay, so the rest of y'all are blessed. I see. That's nice. I have a Honda Civic, and I like it because it gets me from point A to point B. But they give you all these fancy upgrades. Like, some of you have cars like this. I'm not poking fun at you. I'm not used to it. Like they have these cars when you back up, you can see what's behind you. It's amazing. Remember when you could back up, hit something, and not care? I miss that. All this technology, and then like they got these little seat warmers, these little butt warmers. People have sensitive butts apparently. I don't know when this happened. I didn't know they existed. My friend, like I got in the car, she turned it on, and I thought I had gas for about 5 minutes. I don't feel like I had anything. I don't smell anything. That's what a butt warmer was back in the 80s. You passed gas. That's how you did it. That's how you did it. Yeah, like I'm trying to adjust all this technology, especially, like I said, with the traveling. It gets crazy. It gets crazy for me. And the hotels, the hotels are crazy. I'm learning. I've learned the hard way, especially my first year of doing comedy. I realized, and this might help some of you, I try to use my platform to help people, never spend $50 on a hotel. Don't do it. I know what you're thinking. You're like, Cyrus, but I save money. I save money. But you pay in other ways. Psychologically. Like I said, I'm still seeing a therapist about a 2-night stay I had at a Motel 6. You pay in other ways. Like, really, if you're going on an animal safari and you pay $50 for a hotel, you can cancel the safari. Because the creatures you're about to see that night in your hotel will far surpass anything on that safari. Like I've been saying, scientists have not discovered the creatures that you're about to see. Yeah, see a raccoon in your trash can, eating half of that Chick-fil-A sandwich you didn't want to finish. Yeah, it gets crazy. You stay at a $50 hotel. The only good thing about a $50 hotel are the roaches are polite. Yeah, they're very polite. You turn on the light, they run. They know you have stuff to do. They know you have stuff to do. Let's move out of his way. Yeah, like I remember, like I went to sleep. I was about to lay down, and one of the roaches was like, "This is my side of the bed, bro." It's very polite, very polite. You get up the next day to go to the refrigerator, they're already in there to let you know you ran out of milk. Very polite. Yeah, the only thing worse than a $50 hotel is staying at a $40 motel. Yeah, because those roaches can fly. Yeah, even the roaches at a $50 hotel are scared of the roaches at a $40 motel. Yeah, just felt like somebody needed to hear that tonight. Somebody might be at one of those hotels tonight, like, we gotta leave. Yeah, so I'm trying to adjust to the whole traveling thing. Like I said, I enjoy the destination, though. And I come from a small town from Savannah, Georgia. I appreciate the applause for Savannah. Thank you. It's too late. Yeah, I love Savannah. You guys get snow. We get a lot of hurricanes in Savannah. People always ask me all the time, Cyrus, you ever get worried about visiting Savannah during hurricane season? I'm like, not really. I just don't like the names they give the hurricanes. Yeah, the names. They're crazy. Like the last one we had was Dorian, Hurricane Dorian. It's a Category 5 hurricane named Dorian. I didn't have a problem with that, But the one before that, I didn't care for. Florence. Category 5 hurricane named Florence. Like, no offense, ladies. I'm just saying, that's not a strong name. You want to go with a Margaret or a Harriet, those are strong names. Florence is not about to make me leave my house. Because I don't know who Florence is to you, but to me, Florence is that old lady in the back of the church that gives you peppermints for sitting through the whole sermon. That's who Florence is to me. It's not enough to make me leave my house. Now, Hurricane OJ, I might pack my bags. I don't like the names. Yeah, and it's part of that is the news. They like to perpetuate stuff, to get higher ratings. They'll send somebody like Al Roker from the Today Show to scare everybody. Be like, we're gonna have wind gusts of 50 to 60 miles per hour. We're gonna have torrential rain, 8 to 9 inches of torrential rain, and that's the weather in your neck of the woods. Back to you. Oh, what's funny to me is right behind Al Roker will be somebody actually from Savannah wearing Bermuda shorts, a Hawaiian shirt, smoking Newports, walking his dog like, yeah, y'all stay inside. It's very dangerous out here. Y'all stay inside. Meanwhile, I'm scared of the eye of the hurricane. That's what used to scare us back in the day. Like, I'm 10 years old. I'm like, why would you give this human characteristic to something that's not human? Eye of the hurricane. I'm in my room praying like, Lord, please don't let us get the eye of the hurricane. Let us get the leg or the pinky toe. Please don't let us get the eye of the hurricane. If we do get the eye, Lord, Lord, let it be a lazy eye. Amen. Amen. Which I can speak on because I do have a lazy eye. Those of you sitting on the front row, you may notice from time to time because you won't know who I'm looking at. I'm still talking to you, sir. It's very frustrating being cross-eyed. People who can see straight, ma'am, you're laughing too hard. People who can see straight, y'all take things for granted. You go to the movies, you get exactly what you ask for. I don't have that luxury. I go to the movies, it takes about 5 minutes to get my order right. I'm like, let me get 2 of those and a medium popcorn. The only thing the concessionist gets right is the medium popcorn. I'm like, sir, I asked for Milk Duds and gummy bears. He's like, sir, at the time of the order, one of your eyes was looking at the Mike and Ike's. The other eye was looking at Starburst. Next. I don't have time for this. I don't have the heart to correct the man, so I go back to my seat, which is equally frustrating because the lights are dim. I go to sit next to the girl I came with. Lights come up. Turns out I've been sitting next to an 80-year-old man the whole time. Which got really awkward because we were holding each other during the movie. Yeah, the girl I came with is sitting one row in front of me like, really? You didn't see me sitting here, really? I'm like, well, you know my eyes are messed up. Why didn't you say something? Why didn't you say something? She's like, I did, but you and your new girlfriend kept going, shh, you're being rude. You're being rude. I didn't know that was you. It's frustrating, you know, because everybody got something to say. Like, I used to hate going to school because every Friday when we took a test, my teacher said the same thing. Cyrus, keep your eye on your paper. I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can. Yeah, and I remember I had to take an eye exam. That's when I realized I was cross-eyed. Yeah, he was like, Cyrus, I want you to cover your right eye. Tell me what letters you see. I was like, okay, E-I-E-I-O. He's like, cover your left eye. Tell me what you see. He's like, just tell me what you see, Cyrus. I was like, I don't see any letters, but you got a leaky roof. You might want to get that fixed. That's when I realized I was cross-eyed. Yeah, but I almost got arrested for being cross-eyed, though. I was in Branson, Missouri. The car swerved. It was late at night. I had just done a show. I was tired. Officer comes over to the window. He's like, sir, have you been drinking? Are you under the influence? I was like, no, I don't drink, sir. He's like, I need you to step outside the car. So I step outside the car. I'm ready to do whatever the officer asked me to do. Walk the straight line, breathalyzer. That's not what he asked me to do. This officer asked me to follow his finger. Long story short, I went to jail that night, ladies and gentlemen. I went to jail. I did. I'm trying to see the good, though. I'm trying to see the positive in being cross-eyed. Like, I can text and drive. Y'all can't, so that's nice. That's nice. Gotta see the positive. I come from a big family. I grew up with 7 brothers and sisters. Yeah, my mom took in 2 of my cousins when they were little, and of course, like, you know, we tried to get rid of them, but she kept feeding them, so we're like, I'm not gonna leave if you keep feeding them, Mom. And of course, like, with 7 brothers and sisters, like, my mom always tried to do stuff. She always tried to do stuff to keep us out of trouble, keep us off the streets. And one of the things that she did that I love, like, we did the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, you know. I was in the Boy Scouts. Felt the need to clarify. Yeah. And of course, like, one thing I did not like, I will never forgive her for, is she made us take clogging lessons. And if you don't know what clogging is, consider your life blessed. It's like a country version of tap dancing, you know, it's just like, and of course, like, I just it was hard because we were the only black cloggers, not in our class, in America. Like, we were breaking barriers for black cloggers everywhere. Yeah, it's crazy when you have a big family, especially during the holidays. It's hard because nobody ever can decide where to go out to eat. Like, what's your favorite 4-star restaurant, man? You don't know who I'm looking at, don't care. I apologize. I'll tell you, my favorite 4-star restaurant is McDonald's. Yeah, I like McDonald's for the reason most people hate McDonald's, because I'm a bit of an introvert. I love that they don't care. Yeah, you realize that McDonald's doesn't care. They don't care about you. They don't care about customer service. They don't care about the product. They don't care about me. You know McDonald's doesn't care because when you drive up 10 o'clock at night at that drive-thru, what's the first thing they say? Welcome to McDonald's. The ice cream machine is broke. I didn't even ask. I drove up one time, the lady said over the system, she said, they just keep coming. I think that's your job. I think that's what that is. That's your job. I do like Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A. Where are my Chick-fil-A people at? I don't want to leave anybody out. Where are my Popeyes people at? All right, those are the heathens. Y'all need to get saved. Y'all need to get saved. No, I love Chick-fil-A. You could be in a bad mood, walk out in a good mood, because they got that inspirational music at Chick-fil-A. You know, playing in the background like Stephen Curtis Chapman, Kirk Franklin. You can get baptized at Chick-fil-A for $7.99. I've seen them do it. They dip you in the Polynesian sauce for free. I've seen it. I don't like, you ladies love this place, I don't like Starbucks. Nah, they get into your business too much. They started that whole thing, you know, getting in your business. Yeah, you ladies love Starbucks. As soon as you feel that first gust of wind, y'all like, let me get a pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin spice muffin, pumpkin spice toilet tissue. Y'all love pumpkin spice. I don't like Starbucks because they get in your business. They're like, can I get a name to go with the order? I like to mess with them. Told them my name was Fire. Because there is no greater joy than watching 50 people run out of Starbucks as they announce your Fire, Fire, Fire. Yeah, I will tell you though, the hardest people for me to connect with are the millennials. We have any millennials in the audience? I see a few. Yeah, it's nothing to be proud of. Let me fix that statement. You're not gonna like this part. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, here's the thing. First of all, I don't understand your phrases. Like, y'all know they have a thing called a safe space. A safe space. I'm actually jealous. I would have loved a safe space. For those of you who don't know what a safe space is, that's where you can't criticize, you can't condemn them. Like, basically, they get to avoid life. Because they have a safe space. I would have loved a safe space, especially when I was getting a spanking. Y'all don't even know what that is. I would have loved a safe space when I was getting my mom would have been like, come get this butt whooping. I'd be like, no. Excuse me? I need a safe space. A what? A safe space. My mom would have shut that down in about 5 seconds. My mom would have been like, you came through my safe space to get here. Come get this butt whooping. I would have loved that. So I'm trying to connect. Y'all gotta pray for me. You gotta pray for me. I just have a hard time with the millennials. Like, you know, speaking of prayer, I did grow up in a predominantly black church. You know, it's a room full of black people, much like tonight. No, it's a very diverse room. It is. Some of you have brown hair. Some of you have black hair. Some of you have no hair. It's very diverse. But I grew up in a predominantly black church, and I go to a more multiracial church now, so my white friends will ask me from time to time, like, Cyrus, what do you think the biggest difference is between a black church and a white church? What do you think the biggest difference is? And I try to tell them it's the music. He's like, what do you mean? I said, well, sometimes y'all have a fast tempo for the same song we have a slow tempo for. He's like, what song are you talking about? I said, well, take the song America the Beautiful. He's like, yeah? I said, yeah, whenever I go to your church, I keep waiting for Frank Sinatra or Michael Bublé to pop out. He said, why? I said, because y'all sing it like this. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies I do, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty, above the fruited plains. Bring it home. America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. I actually find that annoying. He said, why? I said, because at my church, that same song is 4 hours long. He said, how is that possible? I said, because my pastor sings that song like this. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I don't know what this does, but I feel like he's waiting on a Wi-Fi connection from Jesus. Oh, A, B, C, D. I said A, B, C, D, E, F, A, G. G stands for Jesus. Yes, my pastor did say G stands for Jesus. L-M-N-O, beautiful. Thank you, Lord. Now, I don't know why, but at a black church, we like to ask questions in the middle of the song for no reason. Like, oh, beautiful, for spacious skies. How many know the skies are spacious? Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Like I didn't know we were doing surveys, Pastor. I told him, if you come on a good Sunday, sometimes you will get a sermon in the middle of the song before the actual sermon. He was like, how is that possible, Cyrus? I said, because my pastor be singing the same song, like, America, sweet old, I said, sweet old America, God done shed, I said, God done shed his grace on thee, yes he did, Lord, and crown thy good, because he wants you to be the head and not the tail, because greater is he within me, I said, greater is he within me, than he that is within the world, for God so loved the world, I said, God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten son, and I before he except after seeing sometimes why, and Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack jumped over, I said Jack jumped over that candlestick, and Mary had a little lamb, that lamb's name was Jesus, I said that lamb's name was Jesus, and roses are red, violets are blue, I love Jesus, how about you, and you, you're gonna love me. Wrap up. So that's when I started going to white churches. Y'all know how to wrap it up. Y'all know how to wrap it up. But no, they always talk about how divided we are. But that's why, like, I don't know if you guys use this app called Waze. Yeah, I'm more of a Google Maps person. I like to use Google Maps, but my friends are like, Cyrus, you gotta use Waze. I did a little research though. I found out one of the top downloaded voices for this app is none other than Arnold Schwarzenegger. Why would you want that as your GPS voice? That's just him yelling at you for the next 46 hours. Get out of the lane, get out, come on, listen to me. The cops are coming, get into the chopper. Say, I need something calm and soothing like Barrack. Barrack has a calm voice. Very soothing, unless you're in a hurry. You're saying, if you got 5 minutes to get to work, you got a fork in the road, the last thing you want to hear is, now look, let me be clear. You could go left, or you could go right. But what you don't want to do, what don't I want to do, Barrack? You don't want to sit here, which is what you're doing right now. Okay, well, which way should I go, Barrack? Well, you could make a U-turn, but so I could tell Sasha Malia, Barrack, I don't have time for a Sasha Malia story. I'm trying to get to work. That's when I realized I should probably use Donald Trump as my GPS voice. I see some of you know him. That's nice. No, but I realized he might exaggerate the directions just a little bit. Just a little bit. Like you're taking a slight right. Next thing you hear your GPS talking like, okay, you're going to take a huge turn. It's going to be so huge. It's going to be so huge. It'll make your head spin. God, I can tell you. God, I can tell you. If he had made Eddie Murphy the Secretary of State, though. He'd be like, okay, Eddie, we're gonna make you Secretary of State. How do you feel about that? Eddie would have been like, let me tell you something. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be fabulous. You're gonna be president. I'm the Secretary of State, and in the morning, I'm making waffles.